In April 2023, a devastating war broke out in Sudan, pitting the Sudanese armed forces against the paramilitary group Rapid Support Forces. To elevate engagement on the conflict in the relevant policy spaces, including the African Union Peace and Security Council, and to effectively contribute to efforts aimed at managing and resolving the conflict, Amani Africa has carried out a wide range of impactful works in the course of 2023. Since the outbreak of the conflict in Sudan on 15 April 2023, Amani Africa has produced a substantial body of work, including several research products for informing and shaping policymaking. The insights on the PSC that we produced on 15 April 2023, on the day of the outbreak of the war, provided the only current source of analysis on the conflict to help the preparation of PAC members as the Council decided to convene an emergency session on the situation on 16th of April. Similarly, the insights that we produced on 26th of May and 14 November provided analysis for direct and immediate use for PSC sessions held on the 27th and 15th of November, respectively. Apart from availing PAC members and PAC decision-making stakeholders with relevant information and analysis for their immediate use and their engagement in the sessions, the policy options in those publications, accompanied, of course, by follow-up engagement from Amani Africa with PAC members, also informed the outcome of these sessions in more direct ways. A case in point that illustrates such impact of our work is the decision of the 1185th Ministerial Session of the PSC, which took place on the 15th of November 2023. So this session decided for the chairperson of the commission to set up a high-level ad hoc panel on Sudan that will work with all Sudanese stakeholders. Additionally, we published 5 analytical commentaries on our Ideas in Dava page. These were critical on the one hand for providing regular updates on the conflict and critical analysis on the peace efforts, and on the other hand, for keeping high-level policy attention on the conflict. These commentaries also contributed towards shaping the engagement and also strategies of various policy stakeholders, including advocacy groups vis-à-vis the conflict. In order to mobilize policy action and engagement on the fast-growing worst humanitarian crisis triggered by the conflict in Sudan, the briefing that Amani Africa's director delivered to the 1176 PAC session highlighted the imperative for action, insisting that failing to act would amount to betrayal of AU's principle of non-indifference to the plight of Africans caught up in the ceasefire of conflict on which AU is founded. To this end, our briefing proposed that the Council establish a task force for monitoring, documenting, and reporting on the humanitarian situation and protection of civilians in Sudan, as well as for engaging in humanitarian diplomacy efforts. Both of these points were reflected in the outcome document of the session, although not with a specific reference to the situation in Sudan. To monitor policy engagement on the crisis, Amani Africa also developed a tracker on the conflict on Sudan as a key source of information on the plethora of diplomatic efforts launched by the AU and other policy actors. These various works on the conflict in Sudan, further reinforced by our discreet and direct engagement with members of the PSC, including in the course of provision of technical support to the monthly chairs, have been impactful in at least 3 ways. Firstly, they availed a range of policy actions that helped policymakers in crafting policy documents of PSC sessions. They contributed also to keeping the situation in Sudan high in the policy discourse and agenda of AU's main peace and security decision-making body. Lastly, they provided a body of work that both serves as useful source of reference and also has shaped and informed wider discourse and narrative on the conflict in Sudan by attracting media engagement.